Hey guys, it's Squeegee here. Again, before we get into the video, I just want to give a shout out to the big Riftbound event that we are hosting this weekend, January 25th at 10 a.m. in collaboration with Banana Games. It's going to be a fun time. It's a 3K tournament. There's going to be side events. There's going to be raffles. You get a chance to meet us. And we are at 90 players. I can't believe it. Thanks everyone who signed up. I hope to see you guys all there. And without further ado, let's jump right back into the video. What is up, Riftbounders? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are mastering the art of war. If you think the only thing better than a big weapon is swinging a big weapon, then you have come to the right place. We are covering Jax, Grandmaster at Arms. This deck is what TCG players call a Voltron strategy. If you haven't heard that term before, it basically means we are going to take one unit and stack it with as many swords, shields, and buffs as possible until it becomes an unstoppable super soldier. You aren't just playing units, you are building monsters. You are consistently moving equipment between your team, cheating mana costs, and adapting your strategy on the fly. It's incredibly rewarding because you always have the right tools for the job. Need card draw? Grab that lamp. Need damage? Grab the sword. Need to win? Get that trophy. So tighten your grip and let's enter the arena. Let's start with the Grandmaster himself, our legend Jax, Grandmaster at Arms. His ability is the engine of this entire deck. He has two activated abilities. First, you can tap him to attach an attached equipment you control to a unit you control. Second, you can pay one rune and tap him to attach a detached equipment you control to a unit. Why is this broken? Usually equipping item costs power or runes or both. Jax lets you bypass those costs entirely. You can swap a sword from a small unit to your big boss without spending a single rune or power. Now for the champion card, Jax Unrelenting. He introduces a key word for this archetype, Weapon Master. This means when you play him, you can equip one of your equipment to him for one less rune, even if it's already attached to someone else. He creates an immediate tempo. Additionally, he is your driving force. When you attach an equipment to him, you may pay one rune to draw a card. Combine this with your legend ability. Use the ability to move a gear into or onto Jax, your champion. Pay the one rune and draw a card. You can do this every turn. And finally, the signature spell, Counter-Strike. This is a reaction that allows you to choose a unit and prevent the next damage dealt to it this turn. Oh, and I forgot, it lets you draw as well. It is the ultimate blowout card against damage-based removal or during a combat trait. Where is the Grandmaster training his students? We have three specific battlefields. First is Ornn's Forge. This is straight value. While you control this battlefield, the first friendly non-gear token card played each turn costs one less. This helps you flood the board with equipment and weapons early, so Jax has tools to play with. I would play this battlefield game one. Don't know what your opponent is playing yet, so you want to prioritize tempo. Making your gear cheaper allows you to set up your board faster than theirs. It's the safest and most consistent option. Next, we have Hall of Legends. When you conquer here, you may pay one rune to ready your legend. This allows for a massive switcheroo turn. You can use your legend ability to move a weapon to Unit A. Attack with Unit A, conquering Hall of Legends, paying the one rune to ready your legend, and then move the weapon again using your legend ability to Unit B at the other battlefield for defense during your opponent's turn. It doubles your efficiency. If it goes to game 3, the gloves are off. This is your high skill, high reward closer. By now, resources are low on both sides. Hall of Legend lets you abuse Jax's ability to ready and move equipment multiple times in a turn. It messes up your opponent's combat math and lets you squeeze out a win from a tight board state. Lastly, Sunken Temple. When you conquer here with a mighty unit, that's a unit that has 5 or more might, you may pay one rune to draw a card. Since we are buffing our units with gear constantly, hitting that mighty threshold is incredibly easy in this deck. If you won game 1 and your opponent chooses to go second, putting you on the attack, go for it. If you lose and you decide to go first, they will likely sideboard in removal. Either way, game 2 is usually a grind. You need card advantage. Sunken Temple ensures that as long as you have mighty units, you will never run out of gas. Jax has recruited some elite fighters who love holding weapons just as much as he does. First up is Lucian Merciless. He is also a weapon master, so he grabs gear cheaply on entry, but his main strength is aggression. The first time he conquers each turn, you ready him. Equip Lucian with a heavy damage item. Attack a lightly defended battlefield, conquer it, ready him, and then move him off the battlefield for another push next turn. He applies immense pressure. Next is Akshan Mischievous. This guy is a thief. He is also a weapons master, but you can pay 2 body power runes as an additional cost to play him. If you do, move an enemy gear to your base. You control it until Akshan leaves the field. If it's equipment, it snaps right onto him. If you steal an opponent's powerful equipment with Akshan, you control it. That means the Legend Jax ability can then tap to move the stolen sword to other units that you have under your control. You don't just disarm them, you turn their weapons against them. And finally, Irelia Fervent. She has deflect, making her harder to target with spells. Her ability reads, when you choose or ready me, give me +1 might this turn. Jax's legend ability chooses a unit to attach equipment. Every time Jax hands Irelia a weapon, she gets +1 might for her own ability. She scales very fast. Now for the students, the unit package. We have Veteran Poro. He is a cheap weapon master. Think of him as your caddy. You play him cheap, equip him for a discount, and hold the line until you can use your Jax legend ability to pass his weapon onto a bigger unit or champion later. First mate. When you play him, ready another unit. Simple but effective for surprise attacks or resetting a unit after they conquer. And the MVP, Apprentice Smith. When it moves, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a gear, you draw it. Otherwise, you recycle it. Movement is key here. Since Apprentice Smith triggers on a move, you want to position it on a battlefield you intend to conquer. It filters your deck, ensuring you never run out of equipment. Don't just throw it into combat to die. Keep it moving to keep your hand full. This is a Jax deck, so the gears are arguably more important than the units. First, the Brutalizer. It costs 1 comm power to equip. Its effect is, if this was attached to me this turn, I have an additional +2 might. This was made for Jax. A normal deck equips this once and gets the buff for 1 turn. Legend Jax can reattach this every single turn by tapping your legend. You keep refreshing that +2 might trigger over and over again. Next, Warmog's Armor. It costs 1 body power to equip. When the holder conquers, buff me. This turns any unit into a scaling threat that demands an answer. Bone Shiver. This costs 1 rune and 1 body power to equip. When the holder conquers, you can channel 1 rune Exhausted. This is your ramp. Put this on Lucian to conquer, ramp, ready, and potentially conquer again. And finally, Trinity Force. This is your alternate win condition. When a unit with Trinity Force holds a location, you score an additional point. If the board state is stalled and you can't push for damage, pivot to Trinity Force. Equip it to your tankiest unit, like Irelia with Deflect, and just park them at a location. You force the opponent to come to you or they lose the game 1 point at a time. Now, we run a consistent package of spells to protect our hyper carry units. Defy, a reaction that counters a spell costing no more than 4 runes and no more than 1 power. This protects your stack. You spend all this effort building a giant Jax or Irelia, Defy stops them from removing it all with a cheap spell. Here to help. This is a hidden spell. You can pop it to play a unit from hand, reducing its cost by 3. This is how you ambush your opponents. Drop Akshan mid-combat to steal a weapon from them before combat damage is dealt. Thwonk. This action lets you stun an attacking unit. Crucially, it has a repeat cost of 2 runes. Don't overlook the repeat keyword here. In the late game, if you have 4 extra runes, you can cast Thwonk and pay the repeat cost to stun 2 attackers total. It can completely shut down an opponent's lethal turn. Marching Orders, another repeat spell. It forces a friendly unit anywhere and an enemy unit at a battlefield to deal damage equal to their mights to each other. Since your units are holding giant weapons, they will almost always win the fight. Let's take a look at the sideboard to round out our strategy. Tiana Crown Guard. She has Deflect and a crushing static ability. While I'm at a battlefield, opponents can't score points. Bring this in against racing decks or decks like Renata that try to buy victory points. You park Tiana on a battlefield and force them to deal with her before they can win. I will usually swap out Apprentice Smith here if I need raw stopping power over card filtering. Disarming Rake. When played, you may kill a gear. This is for the mirror match or against rumble decks. Destroying their engine is vital. I would drop here to help. In a gear heavy matchup, removal is better than combat tricks. Not so fast. A reaction that counters an enemy spell, choosing a friendly unit or gear. Bring this in against heavy removal decks like Shadow Isles or Noxus that want to kill your equipped units. Swap out Marching Orders here. If they are playing control, you don't need to fight their units, you need to protect yours. And finally, we have Windwall, a hard counter spell. Good against big spell combo decks like Annie or Kaisa. This is a flexible card, but usually Thwonk I would swap out. If they aren't attacking often, then they're probably killing you with spells. To wrap this up, why is Jax a strong pick? Jax doesn't just stick to one game plan. You play fast with Lucian, play for economy with Bone Shiver, or play for control with Trinity Force. Watch your sequencing. Always remember to attack a unit before you use your legend ability to move their weapon to someone else. You can effectively attack with the same Brutalizer 3 times in a turn if you use Hall of Legends to ready your legend. Squeeze every drop of value out of that steal. This deck makes you feel like a true grandmaster. It rewards knowledge, timing, and hitting things very, very, very hard. That's it for this week's Deck Tech. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button. Leave a comment on which champion you want to see next, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more Riftbound content. I'm Squeegee. Stay sharp, friends.